Hello, let's try this again. Oh my gosh, it has been one of those mornings. I can't believe it. I have had so many technical issues this morning. First of all, I can't tell time. And then this. Oh, I'm so glad you guys came back. Wild and crazy day. That's all I can say. I hope that's not an indication of what my day is going to be like, but if it is, I'll just slow it down and deal with it. But hello. I'm so glad you're here. I missed seeing all of you. I had a great time in Disney, but I'm glad to be back home. There's no place like home, there really isn't. I have my own bed, my own house. I'm not trying to coordinate with 7 other people. It's just me. And if I want to eat at 7 o'clock at night, I can. And, it's not like, well, we're going to do this. Oh, Linda, I'm glad you got it fixed because I know it was chilly here this morning, and I bet it was chillier where you are in Virginia. So needless to say, I'm here. I have 2 ideas for you today. One is a new one that is circulated, and I'm going to show you how to do it. But I thought I would show you an idea as to another idea. They're called the split card fronts. And you'll actually see that the first one I show you is one of the original ones that were around with a little bit of a twist. So, oh, yeah, 20 to be that cold is, hello, Sharon. Thank you for coming in. 20 degrees is a little chilly, Linda. I have been busy checking things out. There is a lot going on. I think you've probably seen other demonstrators posting about online exclusive products. Stampin' Up! Is starting something new, and I'm reiterating what Patty Bennett said because I did watch her video this morning. I had searched high and low to find out if these products are going to carry over into the annual catalog. They are not. It is a one and done while supplies last. The paper is gorgeous, but I have to think of this as my business because it is. And for something that's not going to be around forever, or at least a year, now the minis aren't, so I kind of limit my product purchases there. But if it's not going to be in the new catalog and I can use it for a year, it's not cost effective for me to purchase. So I know a lot of demonstrators are, but then I also know that Stampin' Up! Does a lot based on hobby demonstrators. And those of us trying to run a business, it's a little hard. So I'm personally not purchasing the products because, like I said, it's while supplies last. I love the paper. I have a thing for paper anyway. The stamp set, I don't know if there was an older stamp set that looked like this or not. It's flowers again, flowers. And it's like, I want something besides flowers. So I'm looking for other things. But they're going to do 3 of these online exclusives is what they're calling them a year. March. All right, what they've done is the calendar is January is the mini, February there's no release, March is the online exclusive. April, no release. May, the annual catalog. June, no release. July, another online exclusive. There's only going to be one celebration this year, and this is it. So don't be looking for another one. July is another online exclusive. August, nothing. September is the mini. And that's how they've kind of done the year out for you. And I don't know. It's expensive. It really is. And since I'm doing this as my business, I have to think of what can I use for a while to sell products, sell tutorials, those kinds of things. So that's what I'm looking at. Oh, Renee, I'm so glad to hear somebody else say that, because everybody sees it and go, I'm going to bite. And it's like, I can't honestly do it. I'm looking at some things to kind of shake up my business. Vicki and I did a month-long posting of cards every day, card a day in January, and they were all birthday cards, and we shared them. And then we have the tutorials. Now we still have week 4, which is going to have extra in it to put together to be able to sell. We did that. And then this month we are going to our blog. And what we're going to do is on Sunday, I will post to mine, she will post to hers. We're using a sketch, and we're both using the same sketch, and it came from the catalog. And then, yeah, Carol, it's getting harder and harder to stay as a demo. People are tired of flowers all the time. But anyway, we're taking this sketch, and she makes a card and I make a card. Well, to give you a perfect example, we looked at the card. She made hers, I made mine. We didn't even chat. When I looked at the picture, I saw a slimline card. She saw a regular card. So she did a regular card and I did a slimline card. So the sketch is the same sketch, but 2 different ideas with it. And we're posting them on our blog, and we're linking to each other. The measurements will be there for these so that you can see, what you need. She's doing her measurements, which are metric, and I'm doing mine, which are English, inches. So that's what we're doing in February. I just don't think what month is it? February. We're going to do again something else. We've got it planned through April for ideas. And then I was talking to another demo, and I know you guys are, even if you're a demo or not a demo, you're in the same boat. You're in the same situation I am. I have a ton of retired products. So we're going to start a series, and this is going to be on YouTube. What I will do is I'll post it on YouTube, but I'll share it in my Facebook group. And we're calling it Throwback Thursday. And we're going to use retired products and make cards with them. So a way for you to see, oh, I have that paper. We're going to use retired cardstock, retired colors, retired DSP, retired stamps. So we figured out what we're doing this month, or actually for February, March, we're using retired DSP with current product. And then after that, we'll switch it up. This one, we're also with the Throwback Thursday, we're also putting together 5 card kits. We're doing 1 card, but we're going to do 5 card kits. Each card kit will make 2 cards. You'll have the video to look at with all the measurements and everything. You'll get your kit. You can then make those same cards, and we're selling the kits. It's not going to be expensive because it's 2 cards, and we're trying to mail it very, very cheaply so that we can include in the price the shipping. So that's something we're trying also. She's in the same boat I am. I'm discouraged Yeah, Gladys, we all do. We all do. The kits are for people who don't have the supplies and want to do it. Oh, hang on. I just got a message, low battery. Let me plug this thing in before I lose it. I think it's going to be a technology challenging day. So, you know, I'm trying to do some things to show you how to use what you already have. It doesn't, you know, the tutorials we sell, you don't have to use our stuff. You can use whatever you have. The idea and the measurements are there. The work is done for you. So all you have to do is look at it and say, okay, that's a flower set. I don't have that one, but I have one that has a similar image or a same size image. Use what you have. You don't have our DSP, use what you have. That's what my goal is I want to show you how to use what you have. Use your stash. So shop your stash. I had that hashtag a couple of years ago, and I'm going to bring it back. So that's what we're up to. All right, now I have 2 ideas to share you today. So I'm going to take a sip of coffee. Hopefully you have your hot beverage or beverage of choice, because I know down in Australia, it's very, very hot. So you may not want hot coffee or tea. You may want ice cold something. All right, so let me set this over here. And I'm going to pull in my camera. Even my iPhone was acting up this morning. I'm going to pin this. I could not get it to come up. It wasn't doing what it was supposed to do. And I was like, holy cow, what's going on? All right, I'm adjusting it just a little. Okay, there. Now, this card normally, thanks, Gladys. Normally, my card bases are 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. This one, to do it, it's 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5.5. And I'm going to go ahead and fold this because this will help me make sure I use the right side when I do my cutting. Okay, so here we go. All right, what we're going to do first is I'm going to put that fold line in my cutting channel. I'm going to measure down 1 inch. I got to put this down. It's in the way. 1 inch. I'm going to flip it around, and on the opposite side, I made a mark, sorry. I'm going to measure up 1 3/4 and make a mark. All right, now I'm going to take those 2 marks. I was doing this with my class this week. They were making marks and cutting it, and we're going to cut it off. All right, now we're not done. I'm going to take this piece, and from the angled side, I'm going to cut at 1/2. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but your measurements go this way, but you also have measurements up to 1 1/4 this way. I know a lot of people will try, and if you've got to cut a 1/2 inch, do this. Well, you don't have enough support for your cardstock. Oh, thanks, Gladys. If you move it this way and you have to cut off a 1/2 inch, look at how much support I have for my card. All right, so I'm going to cut. Oh, this is the wrong one. Ooh, good thing I caught that. I want to cut a 1/2 inch off of this bottom piece. So start to use the other side of your trimmer. You're going to cut this off. Oh, wait a minute. I know what you're saying, not my work. I did. Okay. Hang on. All right. Now do you see it? Everybody is saying we can't see it. Okay, now I understand what everybody's saying. Okay. Can you see it? Because if you can, I'll go back and review. Just give me a. Hi, Joan. If you can see my trimmer, let me know. Okay, you got it. All right. So starting again. Normally my cards are 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. This one is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5.5. I folded it in half because I'm going to do some measurements. So what I did was I put my card base, and this other piece is over here minus the piece I cut out. All right. I put it, my scored line in my channel, my cutting channel, and then I marked it at 1 inch. I then turned it around and I put the base of the card. Oh, I got to flip this over. The base of the card even with my cutting channel, and the other piece here, and there's a piece missing, that's why I'm doing this. And I put a mark at 1 3/4. All right, so I have a mark at 1 inch and 1 3/4 from the bottom. I put my 2 marks in my channel and I cut off this piece. All right. Then I took and let's see, I shared with you about your trimmer. And the reason being is we're going to be, later on, we're going to be doing some cuttings. If I have to cut a 1/2 inch off here and you come at it from this angle, you have very little support to keep this line straight. This side of your trimmer also has your measurements at 1/4 all the way up to 1 1/4. If you flip it around and put the long side at the top and use this one at a 1/2 inch, you have a lot more support for your card base. So start using this side of your trimmer for those tiny cuts that you have to make. All right, I then took this piece and I used it as a straight edge on the angled side, and I put it at a 1/2 inch and I cut off this piece. All right, so I did this and I cut off this piece. Now you can save this for sentiments. It's a 1/2 inch, it's perfect for sentiments. All right, so I have my 2 pieces. All right, hopefully, like I said, it's going to be one of those technology days. Okay, here's what we're going to do. And I did some prep work. This is one of the first original split card ideas that came out. I don't remember who did the first one, but I will tell you, the person that I saw for both this one and the other one was Bibi Cameron, and she's in the UK. She is no longer a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. All right. I'm going to connect these 2 panels with a circle, and I use the 2.5 inch circle punch. If you don't have this, you can do the layering circles, but I have the punches, so I'm using them. And the excuse me, the in color glitter paper, and I'm going to attach these 2 like so. So I'm going to use some tear and tape, and the key here is a new roll. I couldn't find my other roll, so I ordered another one. It'll show up later. I may have used it up thinking it was not the ones. All right, so I'm going to put this in the center. So I'm going to run a piece right about there, and I'm not going to go all the way down. All right. And then I need a piece on the top, so I'm going to, all right, I want here some. I'm looking at it. I did use the darker piece of the glitter paper is ombre, and I used the darker bottom. And let me get I went and had my nails done this week. she had to cut them way back. They were in terrible, terrible shape, especially my thumb. I kept catching it on something and breaking it way back. I was like, okay, I got to get this to grow out some. All right, so this is going to go on, and I'm going to put it on as close to the center as I can. And the key is not to have glue in this center part. Now, I am going to put this piece down at the bottom. Make it even, like so. And as a hint, take a Post-it note, and I'm just using a scrap, and hold it in place. Then fold this over and see where you have to add your tear and tape on this side. And then add a piece of tear and tape here. All right, and I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to join my two sides together. And this card is a great idea. Can't get that one off. It's not going to come. Got to burnish it better. All right. So again, this my slipped a little. I'm going to rearrange it with moving it around. I do much better with holding it in place, but I'm going to use my Post-it note and hold it. And I've joined that. I got to take this off. And now your card opens. You've got all this space to write in. You will have space here, so you can write up here and stop, and then just add some decorations there. So there's the split card. Now, I wanted something to go on it. I had not played with my dragonflies in a while, so I stamped my dragonfly in black, and then I colored it. It's a technique I use a lot, so I'm going to show you on here. I took my one end and I just feathered it down. I'll do it a couple of times from the top. Then I took the pretty peacock and feathered up to it. And to give it some sparkle, because it's hard to see, but there is sparkle in here, I took my Wink of Stella and I went over the whole thing. And then I went back and I just kind of scribbled on top where the two meet. And it does take it a while. Okay. It takes it a while, but it does blend it in better. So there's really no significant lines but right there. And I could go back in and blend that also, but not for now. All right, so I'm going to put this on here and I'm going to use dimensionals. All right. And I'm going to give this one a lot of support. And I'm going to do the wings only because I'm going to be opening and closing this. So the person who gets it will be opening and closing it. And if you just do the center, it's not going to support real well. And I have found that with glitter paper, the things don't stick to it. That's why I use dimensionals. I'm going to add my little dragonfly there. Now, I'll go on and decorate this. I'll pull in some ribbon and put it up here, maybe some gems or a sentiment down here. I'm not going to do that before I post it. I will do that so you can see the finished product. I wanted you to see the idea, and that's it. All right, so there's one split card idea. All right, the second one again uses 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 scored at 4 1/4 by 11 scored at 5 1/2. Okay, I have plans today and I hope that I'm not making a mistake with them. We'll find out. All right, so you fold it in half. This one there's no measuring involved because it's all done on your trimmer. You're gonna open your card base up and you wanna cut off 3/8 inch strips. So I'm gonna cut one. This is where that other side comes in handy. 2. The key is make sure you use the same line every time. 3. So you guys remember that other split card idea and the little twist to it? That's 4. I need 7 of them. And they're all the same size. 5. I was thinking a 1/2 inch, but a 1/2 inch is going to be too wide. 6. When she cut off my one nail, she had to cut all the rest of them back. So I have no nails, and it's like I use my nails a lot. All right, so we've got that. Now, the one that I saw, there was a strip here at the bottom, and I'm just going to show you real quick, and then I'm going to put it together. And then this was here. All right, it will be cut off. To get this to work out right, I'm going to put my strips here, and then I'll join that bottom one. They put their piece on the outside. I wasn't real fond of that, so I'm going to put and join mine inside. All right, and I went on her card and how many she had done, but since she's in the UK, their measurements are different. All right, now I'm going to have to get this to start for me. There we go. So I'm going to use some glue here, and to get it even, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my grid, and I'm going to join it like so. Well, let's try it this way. Do it the way you're going to glue it, girl. All right, so I've got that one there, and I want it even with the edge. Then I'm going to take another one. I think anyway, my glue is it's going to be one of those days. And I'm going to put this one over here, and I'm going to keep I'm using like a 1/2 inch to glue it by. All right. And I am using my grid to keep it straight. All right. Now, these, I have to save out one for the bottom. These go in here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 left. And how much space do I have? Let me see. I have about 3.5 inches. So I'm going to do some figuring here. 3.5. Let me do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 squares. So 1, 2, 3.5. 1, 2, 3.5. So if I put one about there, and this will be close, about there. There and there, and those are fairly close. I can adjust them some, so I'm going to go ahead. My glue, it's probably got a little piece of glue in there. I may need to clean my tip. All right, let me get this on here. Let's put it right about there, and I'm going to go up I want my tops as close as I can get to the top even. All right. And I need another. Now, this is where that other 1/2 inch piece, I'm going to come over to this side and do it about the same. I have a tendency to work from the outside towards the inside. That way I can adjust my inside pieces like so. Right. That. I'm going to do this other one real quick because there's a lot of space, so I can do some adjusting of my glue. Move this over some. And if you want to be precise, you can measure it. I am. All right, so I've got that. Remember that piece you cut off? This one's up too high. This is a perfect place to use that piece. So I'm going to put some glue on here to hide this. I like a finished look. All right, so I'm going to put this on here, like so. All right, and then I've got a nice finished edge inside, and I'm going to trim this off. And then that piece isn't wasted. So you can use a half inch one. Now we've got to figure out the bottom here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of hold all these in place. And she had this on the outside, these pieces. I'm putting them again on the inside because I like a nice finished edge. All right. Like so. There was a third one. Did you see it, Carol? Where she actually cut up the card. Okay, there's that. Now, I decided I was going to use the Sending Smiles stamps and dies, and I'm going to create like a vine. So I'm going to join this one back here and have this go up through. So let me get a little bit of glue here. I'll stick this back here. I'm going to open this up because if I don't, it'll stick to the inside of the card, and I don't want that. All right. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue here for that leaf. A little bit of glue on that leaf. Didn't come out. There it is. All right, so I have that. This one, I'm going to run this way and up. And then I'll add my flowers on top. My glue is giving me a fit today. So it almost looks like it's a vine weaving its way through. I'm just going to add some glue in key spots to hold it down, like so. And then I have one more, and I'm going to come over like so. Now, I don't want to go past my card, so I've got to be careful with that, or it won't fit in your envelope correctly. I flipped my paper over when I realized I had cut it wrong. Or stamped it wrong. I was so mad. I had all three of them stamped and everything. All right, there. Now I'm going to add my flowers with dimensionals. And I need to re-ink. I use Rich Raspberry. I put glue in my bottle, Joan. I have to tell you, it's not Tombow. And the reason being, this is what happens to your Tombow in here. It turns brown and gets hard. So I did try it with Tombow. Tombow is just not made to work for this. So I use a different glue in my fine tip bottle, but I want to use my fine tip bottle. I don't like the Tombow bottle. It comes out too thick to me. So, but that's what I do. I do put a glue into my fine tip bottle. So there. All right, now I'm going to, there was one, this one is even my, like I said, I need to stamp my, all right. So there's that one. You're welcome. And then you have all of this space, but remember, keep it in here or it's going to show through here. Now you won't have this on the back of yours because you won't use the back of your paper. I was just showing you what to do. And I can still do something with this. Who knows? All right, so there are my two ideas. Again, no embellishments, no ribbon, no sentiment. I will do that later. Thanks, Barb. I liked the vine idea. I was going to use Flowers of Friendship, but there's no die to cut that out. I'm not cutting it out. If I'd had time, I could have used my silhouette to cut it. But two ideas. So I hope I've given you some hints and measurements that you can use. Thanks, Carol. Thanks, Gladys. To make some cards and kind of use what you have. You could very easily make these strips pattern paper. You know, I wouldn't use something real busy. I would use a more neutral one. And that would be kind of pretty, I think. So there are the ideas. Now, I don't know what you're doing this weekend, but it is time for me to plan to create for my March class. I have my February class done. Registration for it has ended. My March class, I'm going to move these up here. I am using the Sweet Citrus stamp set with the coordinating dies. And I didn't realize that this cuts out all of that. All right. And there is a coordinating embossing folder. So I'm going to be using that, and I'm going to use it with the Regency Park pattern paper. I have so many flower sets. I didn't want another one, and it's going to retire in April. So I bought the paper, and the back side of this has some fun geometric patterns. I'm going to use it. This one would be great and make your images as grapefruit. So I'm going to use the back side of the paper and design my class. So I am anxious to get started with that and to have a play, because you never know what I need. All right, let me get ready. And I'm going to remove the spotlight. I hit the wrong thing before. I hit pin instead of spotlight. There we go. So we have everything ready. I'm so glad to be back. Glad you guys joined me this morning. It's going to be cold in a lot of places. I know a lot of places had a ton of snow. We're going to be up near 70 today, so it won't be real cold here. So, and it's sunny, blue sky and sun. We haven't seen the sun and the sky for a week. And I know everybody else hasn't either. So I hope you have some sun today, just so you can see the sunny day and the clear blue sky. All right, I will be back next Saturday, 10:30. And don't forget, starting next Thursday, Throwback Thursday, tomorrow on my blog, which is Creations in Paper, you can always find me at Creations in Paper. I will be sharing a sketch, and Vicki and I have done cards. We don't talk to each other. We don't talk about what we're using or anything. We just use the sketch and go for it. So I hope you'll check those out. We're going to link to each other. Have a great weekend, guys. Oh, 5 degrees, Carol, that's too cold. Have a great weekend. Finish up those Valentines, get them ready to mail. I've got to make one, so I'm going to be working on that. I've got to put the kids' Valentine box together. So have a great weekend. Relax, enjoy yourself, and I'll see you next weekend. Bye.